Hey, Catalysts. So I was trying to figure out a topic that I wanted to talk about today, and I was debating back and forth between a couple different things, and I went back and forth and back and forth and back and forth, and I couldn't really decide on one. And lo and behold, that's the topic for today. Indecision. I have a weird habit of actually not being very decisive about a lot of things. Ask my wife. She'll tell you. Basically what it comes down to is I think this stems from a variety of different things. I'm pretty easygoing. Generally speaking, I'm usually okay with most outcomes that are usually going to happen. And usually the way that I look at it is that I'm not going to be terribly upset by whatever the outcome is or whatever we do or whatever approach we take or whatever restaurant we go to. Things along those lines. I'd rather see others happy to have it their way because it means more to them than it does to me. I'd typically rather see someone else be happy with the outcome and not be mad about it, and basically put myself into a situation where maybe I'm a little less happy and that's okay, but they got what they wanted. It just tends to smooth things over and make things easier. There's definitely some caveats to this. I'm not like this all the time. When I really want it, I've already made up my mind. When I really want something and I actually really do deeply care about it, I've already made up my mind on it. That's what's going to happen. I'll go back and I'll weigh the different options and I'll try and determine, okay, should I really do this? Should I do this instead? But in the back of my head, I already know what that decision is. I feel like I go through those motions to basically consider both sides just to make sure that I've kind of done my due diligence at that point. So I usually go back and forth about 6 times before I actually go with the decision that I've already made in the back of my head, and then I'll finally push through and do it. When I'm pressured, I can decide in a heartbeat. If you put thumb screws, I can decide like that. Typically speaking, I don't feel that pressure where I feel like I need to decide like that. And again, it boils down to the fact that I'm probably okay with most things, most outcomes that are going to happen. I think this has to do with the easygoing aspect of it. In most cases, things are going to work out okay. It's not going to be a life-threatening situation. It's not going to be something where it's like, oh my gosh, this is absolutely terrible and I'm so upset that it happened this way. It's just not going to happen. I mean, really. It's not going to be the end of the world. In most cases, things are going to go along great. So what if it's not perfect or optimal? I mean, you still have a good time, and typically in most cases, it's really about the time that you make out of it rather than the things that went into it. So if you're busy huffing and puffing about how it's not going your way, you're just making the situation worse when you could be focusing on actually making the best out of whatever situation is that you have and having a good time. So how about you? Are you more the go-getter, or are you more the indecisive type? Or does it depend?